Sushi has taken the world by storm, served everywhere from Tokyo street stalls to New York's high-end restaurants. But behind every perfect roll lies a silent hero. Nori, the delicate sheet of seaweed that wraps it all together. With sushi's skyrocketing demand, one question arises: where does all that seaweed come from? The answer: vast underwater networks of commercial seaweed farms working around the clock to feed a global craving. Grown in the open ocean, harvested with precision, and shipped worldwide, this humble plant powers a multi-billion-dollar industry. Ever wondered how that paper-thin nori traveled from sea to sushi bar? Stick with us, find out the deep, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more behind-the-scenes food journeys. Let's start it. Seaweed, particularly nori, is the soul of sushi. This crispy green sheet not only wraps sushi rolls, providing structure and a unique umami flavor, but also offers a wealth of nutrients, including iodine, vitamins, and minerals. As sushi's popularity surges globally, the demand for high-quality seaweed has escalated. In 2023, the global production of wet seaweed reached approximately 38.5 million tons, with projections indicating an increase to 43.7 million tons by 2029. Notably, Asia dominates this sector, producing 98% of farmed seaweed by volume. Historically, seaweed was harvested from the wild, but natural stocks couldn't sustain the growing demand. This gap led to the rise of commercial seaweed farms, which now ensure a consistent, scalable, and high-quality supply of nori to sushi makers worldwide. Without these farms, the global sushi industry would struggle to meet its current scale. Seaweed farming starts in clean, nutrient-rich coastal waters. Young seaweed plants are suspended on underwater ropes or nets, absorbing nutrients as they grow. The growth cycle lasts 6 to 8 weeks, depending on species and climate. Farmers regularly monitor health, ensuring plants remain disease-free. Once mature, the seaweed is harvested by hand or machine, then washed and dried. This eco-friendly method not only ensures efficient production, but also helps fight climate change. Studies show expanding seaweed farming could sequester 2.50 to 4.72 gigatons of CO2 by 2050. It also boosts marine biodiversity, offering habitats for sea life. Seaweed farming is sustainable and meets rising global demand. Modern seaweed farms rely heavily on technology to boost yields and reduce environmental impact. GPS mapping helps farmers locate the best growing zones. Drones and underwater sensors monitor water temperature, salinity, and nutrient levels in real time. Some farms even use AI algorithms to predict optimal harvest times, reducing waste and improving efficiency. Automated systems can adjust the depth of nets, ensuring seaweed gets the ideal light exposure. This tech-driven approach leads to healthier crops, higher productivity, and more sustainable operations. With rising global demand, these high-tech methods are essential for scaling up seaweed production while protecting ocean ecosystems. While Asia, particularly Japan, China, and South Korea, remains the largest producer of seaweed, the industry is now truly global. Countries like the United States, Chile, Norway, and Indonesia are rapidly developing commercial seaweed farms. These farms are not just for local use, they export seaweed worldwide, especially to meet the surging demand in North America and Europe. Some farms are even expanding into offshore deep sea zones to avoid coastal congestion. With over 35 million tons of seaweed harvested globally each year, it's now considered one of the fastest growing sectors in aquaculture. This global scale ensures that sushi chefs around the world have a steady, reliable supply. Sustainability is where seaweed farming truly shines. Unlike land-based agriculture, it doesn't require fresh water, fertilizers, or pesticides. Seaweed naturally filters water, absorbing excess nitrogen, phosphorus, and carbon dioxide. This makes it a powerful tool for marine conservation. Some farms even integrate with shellfish farming, creating multi-species ecosystems that mimic natural habitats. Because seaweed helps improve ocean health, it's gaining recognition as a climate-positive crop. With minimal input and maximum ecological benefit, seaweed farms are setting a new standard for sustainable food production. As consumers grow more eco-conscious, this commitment to green farming boosts seaweed's appeal even more. When seaweed reaches optimal size, the harvest begins. Workers or machines cut the fronds from ropes, then transfer them to boats or floating docks. Next comes washing, an essential step to remove sand, salt, and debris. Then, seaweed is dried using sunlight, drying tunnels, or dehydrators, preserving its texture and taste. After drying, it's pressed into sheets using rolling machines, trimmed to uniform size, and vacuum sealed for freshness. This stage requires precision. Any error can affect flavor or shelf life. Quality control is strict, especially for sushi-grade nori, which must meet high aesthetic and nutritional standards before heading to restaurants and retailers. Seaweed farming is a booming industry, creating thousands of jobs in coastal communities from cultivators to logistics managers. In the Philippines, it produced 1.54 million metric tons in 2022. Making it the fourth largest producer globally. In Zanzibar, Tanzania, over 15,000 locals, mostly women, depend on seaweed as their main income, earning up to $300 per month, twice the local minimum wage. High-grade nori sells at a premium, while lower grades support the snack, fertilizer, and supplement industries. The industry fuels transport, packaging, and marine tech sectors. Seaweed farming isn't just sustainable, it's a path to economic growth, gender empowerment, and global trade. Despite its many benefits, seaweed farming faces real-world challenges. Climate change causes rising sea temperatures and ocean acidification, which can stunt seaweed growth. Pollution, especially oil spills and industrial runoff, can devastate entire farms. There's also the issue of space. In busy coastal zones, seaweed farms compete with tourism, fishing, and shipping. Market volatility can be harsh, with prices swinging based on weather, harvest cycles, and global demand. Moreover, some regions lack infrastructure for cold storage or processing facilities. These hurdles require innovative solutions, from breeding climate-resilient seaweed strains to government support and policy regulation that protects and encourages the industry's expansion. Once processed, sushi-grade seaweed enters a global supply chain. From farms, it's transported to processing plants, then shipped to distributors and wholesalers. These middlemen supply sushi chefs, grocery stores, and food manufacturers worldwide. Some sushi brands work directly with trusted farms to ensure consistency and quality. Seaweed packaging is often done under strict hygiene standards, sometimes with oxygen absorbers to maintain freshness. From ocean to chopsticks, the journey may take weeks or months, but every step is aimed at delivering crisp, flavorful nori to consumers. Without this coordinated logistics chain, sushi restaurants wouldn't be able to serve the millions of rolls they do each day. In 2024, the global seaweed market was valued between $9.01 billion and $17.14 billion, with projections reaching up to $34.56 billion by 2033, growing at over 8% CAGR. Innovations like vertical farms, automated harvesters, and offshore rigs are boosting yields by up to 45%. US federal grants exceeded $2.2 million to support these technologies. Research into genetic enhancements promises a 20% productivity increase, improving resilience to climate change. As seaweed's role in carbon capture and coastal protection gains traction, global policies and funding are aligning to make it a pillar of future food systems. Commercial seaweed farms do more than grow food, they nurture the future. By meeting global sushi demands and improving ocean health, these farms offer a sustainable, nutritious solution to food challenges. Each sushi roll begins in a carefully managed underwater forest. As demand rises and innovations like vertical farming and genetic enhancements accelerate, seaweed farming will power economic growth and stewardship. Are you ready to support this green revolution? Join the seaweed movement, share this story, and inspire chefs, friends, and policymakers to embrace a healthier planet one sheet at a time.